So let's see if we manage to get any audio this time. I've been fiddling around with my audio devices for the last few minutes, so we'll see if we manage to get something decent out of this now. I'm about to get cracking. And it sounds like we're getting audio, so that's excellent. Excellent news. Finally, we can actually have a look at this for day 2. This is the Sabre I'll be flying. I have tried to put the bare metal skin on. I've saved it in the liveries folder, but it's not showing in my list of available skins. So I think the custom user-made skins are going to have to be updated for 2.5. I'm flying over the autumn map. You can see we've got a bit of snow on the hills up there, and everything's sort of brown and muted yellows. We'll jump in the cockpit. We can. In just a moment or two. Okay, for some reason I've got no controls at the minute and I can't go into the cockpit, so we're going to try again here just to see what the hell's going on with this lack of Hi again. Well, I've got problems again. Now I can't get into the cockpit for some damned reason. None of the internal views are working here. I'm just cycling through them all and I cannot get into the bloody cockpit. It's just proving to be rather painful this morning. I'm entirely unsure why it is doing this. We'll just do this briefly here in case it's simply a small binding issue. And we'll just jump back in and see if we still have issues. No, I can't get into the cockpit. Just quickly exit and try and jump back. Right, we should be back up now. I'm hoping that the stream now works. So the new planes, so here's a chance to actually have a bit of a look at them. The new planes that I'm aware of are all Chinese. If we go here and change the allegiance, the coalition of this one, to a Chinese aircraft, we have this KJ2000, which is a Chinese AWACS. In the bottom right hand corner, you can see it down here. There's also this Chinese fighter. It's somewhere in here. Where is it? The J11A. So this is a Chinese jet. Looks a little bit like the Russian jets / F15 kind of hybrid. Don't think these are new. I don't recall seeing these before IL-76 and IL-78. We'll just take a quick look. Oh, yes, they could be also Chinese aircraft. So those are the main additions. Chinese Air Force, basically, as far as I can tell. Everything else is existing stuff. So we'll jump back in our Sabre over here. Set him to USA and grab that nice loadout that we had before, And I'll just check the external views. We want them all on. And just check through here to make sure. Yeah, we'll turn them on. Good. Save. Right. Let's jump in again. Takes a wee while to load the map. It's about, for me, about 30 seconds. It's not too bad. Okay. And unfortunately, I'm still unable to get in cockpit, so I have no idea what's going on here. It's very, very weird. It's possible that I've not set the aircraft to player. That's probably what it is. Bingo. So annoying. You forget one little checkbox and it stuffs you up. There we go. This is why we also couldn't do it before. I didn't have player aircraft selected. So here we are, finally in a cockpit, and we're going to have a look around from the first person view now. So this is the autumn map, which we did not look at yesterday. Yesterday I looked at summer, winter and spring, and I've got the date set to October, so we are in autumn. It looks pretty nice. We'll get down a little bit lower here. And just take a quick peek through this valley. And what we'll do after this is we'll put a MiG in. I'll fire a few rockets at various things, and then we'll shove a MiG in and we'll try some air-to-air against the MiG. And we'll see how that goes. And we're checking mainly for visibility. I did notice yesterday that spotting contacts seemed a lot better than it had been in the previous, both in 1.5 and in Normandy. I have a lot of trouble spotting contacts, but it didn't seem so bad. Let's loose off a few of these HVARs. Rat-a-tat-tat. So that's the explosion they make when they just hit the dirt. And then when they hit buildings, they actually throw up a whole lot of debris and dust. So now we'll fire a couple of these buildings and you can see the difference. I'll go for this building here. It's got a bit more. There's a slightly bigger explosion. I wonder if there's any liquid storage tanks here. There's a couple of storage tanks there. They might be a bit hard to hit. They're quite small. Probably not going to get this on target for those. We'll try. Rudder. Stabilize. Nah, we missed. It runs really smooth, as I was saying yesterday. No stutters, and I'm getting good frame rates. We go. Okay, that's about 50 frames per second, 40 frames per second down here. I do have the trees on max, so it's a little bit framey, but it's not stuttery. It's nice and consistent. 50 frames per second here. So I would only need to change the graphics very slightly and I'd get a solid 60, which is fine for me. I'm happy to play on 60 frames per second. I'm not one of these people that needs 100 frames. This is entirely playable at this frame rate. And it looks really good. There's a relatively good variety in the trees. You can see there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4 types down there, I think. I think there's 4 types mixed in. Doesn't look too bad. What I'll do is I'll throw in a MiG and we'll try a little bit of air to air. So, old me here, I'm going to be flying out of over Kutaisi. I'll shove in a MiG and we'll make him Chinese, going the other way at the same height. And let's check what liveries he's got. That's a nice livery. We'll go with that. And okay, he's got the standard loadout, which is fine. And I'll just make him good. I think that hopefully won't be too much of a match for me. And I will armor myself with a couple of these GAR 8s just in case I manage to get up behind him. And I'm going to go with this nice green livery, which looks pretty rad. That'll do nicely. Okay, let's save and fly. Distance between the two aircraft is probably a little bit much. That is 60 kilometers. I might just shorten that down a bit. We'll go with about half of that. So we're about 30 k's apart. I should be able to see him. I was able to spot a contact at 60 kilometers yesterday. So let's have a look. And we're going to have a little look at how the contact spotting is. These are good sized aircraft for this purpose. And I see him already. I do have visual. He's on my 12 just above the hillside there, just above the hills where the cursor is. Nice black dot. Gives us a wee chance to have a look at this lovely livery from the outside with the new lighting conditions. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. So, just gonna get this thing armed. And just check. Okay, we'll start off with the guns. We'll get a little closer and we'll see how easy it is to make that contact out. It's probably will not show on the stream, but the contact is there, right where the cursor is, just above that hill. Maybe showing now as a single pixel, who knows. And completely visible still to me. He's probably about 10 kilometers out now. I can see him when I'm zoomed in, and I can see him at minimum zoom. So very good visibility. He's now dropping below the horizon. I would normally lose sight of him here, but I can still see him. I'm just going to look away. I'm going to put the bar in the way and then try and reacquire. And I've reacquired him straight away. There he is over there. So he's just passing underneath my right. And he's going underneath me. I'm just trying to keep eyes on him really here. Okay, so I have lost him underneath this bar and now I've reacquired. And I can zoom in and out and no trouble losing sight of him. It's fine. I can still see him. That's really good. As long as I keep looking in his direction, I can see him fantastically. So I can still see him. Rolling over the top. Still totally visible. Now he's not going defensive at all here, so I need to just check what coalition he's set to. But now I'm going to look down in the cockpit and then try and reacquire. Okay, so I've lost him. This is good. I've lost Viz because I'm actually not looking at him anymore. Now we're going to try and reacquire him. There he is, on my 6. Brilliant. I mean, it's not brilliant that he's on my 6, but it's brilliant that I've reacquired. Okay, so he's closing on me. There he is, up there. I need to get that Mac number up. Just not fast enough. I'm just trying to outrun him so that we can then roll up over the top. I think he may be starting to struggle now. There's me. There's him. Oopsie, getting slow for a second there. Yeah, he's closing. Oh, he got me. I actually just extended my air brakes there for accidentally. I pulled my air brake switch in just to check that it was working, and unfortunately I deployed them rather than retracted them. So we'll do this again. Good, so visibility looks really excellent. I'm quite happy with that. There he is again. So basically a replay of what we just did. And I think this time I'll just leave the missiles armed rather than switching back and forwards between the guns and the missiles. I don't have a key binding set for this yet, so that's why I had to look down to the switch before. But I'll bind a key and then that'll solve me that problem in future. So, still see him very clearly. I'm really happy with the contact spotting now. I think this is going to make a lot of difference for online play in the kind of Gen 1, 2, 3 stuff. Not that we have any Gen 1 jets, but certainly Gen 2 and Gen 3. Being able to do better visual contact spotting is going to be great. And also it's going to be marvellous for the World War II. World War II combat, where eyeballing is everything. So I'm on missiles. You can still see him over there. Not too difficult at all. Frame rate 40 per second, which is alright. And I'm just going to go up and over here. Now I would often lose sight of them doing this kind of maneuver. Yeah, it's actually a little hard to see him for a moment there. I've just got him still. That's quite easy to see. Okay, he's coming up. Okay, blacking out. Now I've lost sight of him while I've blacked out there. Okay, now I do not see him. Means he's probably going to show up on my 6. This is a good test of locking onto the sun. This is a good test of the visibility now because we're turning around. Much more likely to lose sight. Normally they would be on my 6 by now, these MiGs. I think I see him. Yes, I do. Good. Okay, so same scenario as before, basically. He's just quite far behind. To bring the tone back. And should be able to outrun him for a while. There. It does look like he's gaining on me again. Okay, I can just make him out up there. Still quite difficult to see. But not, I don't think, as bad as it used to be. Oh, that's very hard to see him for a second there. Very hard. Like he's about to... Okay, now... There he is. Just on my 12. Just about on my 12 anyway. Now I've lost sight of him. He's gone into the hills. Means he'll show up on my 6 as they always do in these situations. Yes, there he is. Okay, good. I think I should probably be on guns here rather than missiles. I don't think he's going to present me with the shot that I want. I think I'm going to have to take a deflection shot. I don't think I'm going to get the chance to get on his 6 for an extended period. So we're just in this kind of rolling... Oh! No, still got him, still got him. Rolling scissors-like maneuver here. And he's now going up in front and rolling to the right. Okay, now he's flying away from me. So here's, I guess, a chance to try and deploy the GARs. I'll just let him do his thing here. Underneath me now, he'll come up and I'll go down, and we're just continuing the scissor. That was a bad maneuver. I gave him an opportunity there. Yeah, I've let him onto my 6 by doing that. It's quite the extended little rodeo here. I have lost sight of him again. So I just got to wait for him to pop back out on my 6 one more time. Now's my chance to get off. Turn off the... Just check the guns are working, good. Turn off the missiles and go to the gun setting. Ah, okay, there he is on my 6, right. Thought that's where he'd show up. Let's just roll over again. Where is he? No eyes. See him going up. Oh, that was close. Oh, my kid's crying upstairs. I might have to shut a door in a second. And I can see him up above me now. He's going up and over the top. Looks like he's going to roll down in just a second. There he goes. He's probably going to present me with a GAR shot here, which now that I've changed to my other weapons, which is typical. Okay. There he is. Hello, mate. That's it. That's it. Do that. Now he's coming up. I'm going to roll level. Oh, I could actually make a gar shot here, I think. No, I need those guns. Ho 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 ho. Okay, he's above me, up there. Lost sight just there for a second. What's he doing? He's gonna now be right in front of me for a second. I may get some guns off here. No, he's just turning inside that. His aircraft are so evenly matched, it's wonderful. And fight these things for hours on end. 60 frames per second there, so that's nice. Nice high frame rate. He must have gone up into a climb because I've lost sight of him again. Means of course we can expect him on my 6 in just a moment. So I better get that nose down. Roll it the other way. There he is. Right where I expected him. I think he's got me here. Lovely acceleration on those things too. Okay, can I get over and around on him here? It may be a bit of a stretch for me to get the nose up. I'm just going to start dropping the nose already. There he goes there. Into the sun. This might be a chance for me. No. I'm very slow here. There, he's disappeared there for a second. I can still just make him out. There's enough contrast between his aircraft and the ground there. Should be a bit easier this time. Just lag pursuit a little bit here. Yeah, there you go. There's no need to lead pursuit. What's he doing? Is he going up and over, or is he going round this way? Going around this way. Ah, that was the moment I could have probably rolled back on him. I think I may have just eked a slight energy advantage here. No. No, he's recovered all that energy. That little gain I made. He's just going vertical behind me into the sun, and down he comes now. He's up above me. I want him to do some turns. Oh, just struggling to keep eyes on him here. Up he goes. He's recovered that energy and he's going back up again. So good in the vertical, those MiGs. Really superb. Oh, that was bad. You got me. So there we are, twice down by the AI Migs. Kaboom! There's the new explosions. And there's the bugger there. Cheeky fellow. So how's performance? I think it's well, it's totally different from 1.5.8. I mean, it's a completely different engine. So I wouldn't compare it to 1.5.8. I'd compare it to Normandy and Nevada, and it's about the same. I get reasonable frame rates. I'm getting 60 frames per second, down to about 40 at low level. I haven't flown over anywhere that's really heavily populated yet. We'll go over to Tbilisi here, and we'll have a little look. I'm just going to close a door. 1 second. Okay, so we'll have a little look over to Tbilisi, and what I might do is try and engage another MiG out over the water to see if it makes any difference over there. Let's save this, and we'll just have a little fly over to Tbilisi, and we'll check the frame rates. I've got them showing top left-hand corner here. They may not be visible on the stream, so I'll try and read out what's happening as we go. So we've got a bit of a built-up area, and just dropping down. 55 to 60 frames per second here. That's totally fine for me. You can see it's quite barren. And as we get down into some trees, that'll probably kick up, or kick down rather. 60 frames. Still, I'm capping at 60. So it's possible I could get more frames, I think. But I've got the NVIDIA card capped at 60 for DCS. And over this town now, down to 40, 41, which is pretty similar to what I get in Normandy. No real difference. And this is close to about as populated as it gets. I'll speed up the time here and we'll just shoot over to Tbilisi itself and then have a quick look there, because that'll be the real test. Yeah, this is a bit of a city really. Still 40 to 50 frames per second, and we can slow that back to normal. 45, 40. Yeah, so there you go. It's not really dropping below 40. And this is about as dense as it gets, population-wise. Moving the track IR around, there's no obvious frame tearing. Mirror looks really good. So yeah, I think it's alright. I mean, I'm totally happy with this performance-wise. No stutter. It's track IR, by the way. Someone just asked. I'm not using VR. I don't have a VR set. I'll just go shooting up into the sky. Running a single screen. Single screen, track IR. I'm going to go out over the water now. We'll try another fight with a MiG. We'll see if we can do a little bit better out over here. I'll shove him in, coming the other way again. And he'll be like a Chinese one. Chinese Mig15. Yada, 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 yada. And we don't want him on high, we'll just have him on good. I think I do need to actually bind a key for my missiles to air, because it's a bit problematic having to change quickly between the two and looking down at the screen. So I may actually do that now. We'll just go to the control bindings and I'll just quickly, okay, these two are already set for the radar. I'm going to just change this to the missile control. If I can't find this quickly, I won't do it. General, I think. Actually, the best way to tell is to go here. Gun missile selector switch is what it's called. Gun missile selector switch. So let's scroll down to G. Gun missile selector switch to guns will be that one, and missile will be that one. Okay, guns, missile. Good. Now we can do that at the flick of a switch, which is great. So let's go investigate our MiG. He's over here now. We're over the water, so it might be a little bit easy. Actually, one other thing I want to do, we'll just quickly change the time of year, because we've seen enough of the autumn map. We'll change to the late spring map. We'll add a little bit of wind in down low as well, make the time different. We'll go with 15, I don't know, 1545. We'll add a little wind. Let's go with about 5 meters per second down low, coming in from the sea. Good. A little bit of cloud perhaps. 7 with a high base and relatively thin. Temperature down a few notches. Lovely. This will be interesting. I don't know about VR performance. I would check in with Jabber's channel. He's probably the best guy to discuss when it comes to VR. He does a lot of flying in VR. So I would check in with Jabber's. If you're not aware of his channel, I'll just change the name here. He's got a YouTube channel. He does a lot of VR flying. It's nighttime. That's a bit weird. Mission editor. What did we set it for? April at 1:45. That's why. We want 15:45. Thank you. Okay. Yep. So check out Jabber's channel on YouTube. He has VR. Flies it a lot. I think he'll be the guy who can tell you about what's different. Key binding stuck. That's good news. Right, I'm going to get as fast as I can here. Check the guns are on. We'll turn some cockpit lighting on. And I really want to be going quick. There's my quarry. Our MiG again. Same chap. Same aircraft. Same skill level. And he's flying along on his merry way here. Completely unawares. And then he'll see me in a second and all hell will break loose. We're just passing on each other's 2 o'clock positions. I'm going to now start my aggression. Looks like he's rolling into me as well. And I've got eyes on still. Yep, here he comes. And he should run out of energy. Oh, he's invisible. Invisible against the sea. I actually thought it would be a lot easier to fight them over the water, but that guy just completely disappeared. I have no idea where he went. Okay, so fighting over the sea is not that easy actually. That's terrible. My word, he disappeared. And now he's on my long 6. Okay, so there you go. Tip for guys who rely on visibility to do their job. If you fight them over the water, you do run the risk of them disappearing on you. It's quite visible over the land. But that's partly because the land is paler and the water's so dark. Yeah, lost him again. Wow. Really hard to see over the water. There. Should be underneath my tail somewhere. Yeah, just... No, can't make him out at all. Oh, there he is again. Okay, so I'm going to kind of keep flying back towards the land because I just think as long as we're out over the water here, he can see me, but I can't see him because he's AI, so he knows exactly where I am. Oh my word. Where's he gone? Bloody hell. Whew. Okay, I need to get this guy over the land. So there you go, chaps. Do not engage these guys over the sea. It's probably okay in a PvP situation because other humans will have the similar or same visibility problems, but the AI doesn't. He just had a shot at me then. Where's he gone? There. Okay, now we're back in this old game of Migs go high and I go low. Ah. Very hard to see those guys. Really difficult. It was quite easy over autumn, I think, but over this map, and it may be the color scheme as well. He's got the, I think he's got the greenish grey, which is pretty reasonable. You can see if we zoom out, he's okay, he's okay. Almost invisible there. But if he was moving, it'd be a lot harder to see. And as I pan around, let's just see, does he disappear over the water? Actually, there's water over there, which is a better colour. Yeah, if I place him over the water, yeah, he starts, there we go. He just basically disappears over dark coloured water and trees and whatnot. Yeah, you can't make him out at all there. There he is in the middle of the screen right there. And he disappears at about that range there, which is probably a kilometre. He's exactly the same. His shadows and the shadows from those trees are the same shade almost. So if he puts himself over a shadow, or if he's over a lot of shadows, for example, he's gone there. In fact, he just looks like another shadow from a tree. He can even be over the pale bit of grass there, and he cannot be seen. So there we go. Interesting. Still have some difficulty spotting these guys. I wonder if we can get a setting that just makes them look a bit more visible. I'll try changing his livery, see if that makes a difference. We'll go with the pale livery, and we'll set it to average as well, just because I'm not so great dogfighting these MiGs. If I just make them a bit crapper, I'll probably stand a chance of doing some damage. Right, so we've gone now with a different livery. We've kept the time the same. This is just to check if the livery change makes a difference at all to their visibility. It probably will do when we're looking at that plan view. So that's me in plan view. Quite hard to see. Him in plan view with the sun beating down on the top is quite obvious. So that may make it a little bit easier to keep track of him. He is on my 1 o'clock position. 65, 70 frames per second out here over the water. People keep asking about performance compared to 1.5.8. Well, for a start, everything runs worse because everything is better. So of course it taxes this. If you don't change your hardware, you're going to get less frame rate in this than you got in 1.5, without a doubt. That's just the nature of having an upgraded game running better graphics on the same system. Okay, there he is. It's actually not too bad. But it's fine for me. I mean, it's smooth. It looks good. It's not laggy. Okay, I can still see him here. Still see him. Guns. Guns. Ah. For some reason my guns wouldn't fire then. No, now they will. That's annoying. Okay. So I do have trouble seeing him up high. Against the cloud, he's very visible, as one would expect. A shadowed aircraft against white cloud. Now we'll test. What does it look like when he drops below the horizon over the water? I'm sinking as fast as he is here, so he's actually not dropping below the water. Visible, quite visible. Yeah, a lot more visible than the green one. Okay. That livery is easier to make out. Now he's hard to see though when he's in the sky. Whereas the other one was easier to see over the sky. Got one away, but it didn't make a difference. Too much G. Okay, I'm gonna possibly get behind him here. And that also missed, which is okay. We'll go with guns. Or did I hit him? Don't know what that is. I think that's just the smoke from my rocket. And of course I lost sight of him. I've reacquired him. Oh, I did reacquire him for a second and then lost sight again. There he is. Oh. Now will be a very good test. I can still make him out. It's interesting, the different liveries really make a difference. This one is much harder to see when he's above the horizon, but a lot better when he's got the sun shining down on him. The other one was really difficult to see when he was down low, but quite visible up high. So it just shows you, and I think DCS has just crashed. Looks like DCS is having all sorts of troubles here. So we're talking about performance before. This may be a case of a bit of performance failure. I think it's struggling to keep up here. Just going to press the escape key, and a 1080 will easily cut it. I've got a 980 Ti here. So if you've got a 1080 Ti, you'll be fine. Wouldn't have any concerns about that. Okay, so DCS is completely locked up, so I'll pause the stream and back in a second. Should be back now, so we're going to have a look at this one more time. Just bring out closer to the land here. And what we'll do is I'll set the map now to winter. And I'll increase the cloud density to 9/10. So this will now be a real good test. Okay, so in order to update, you have to run the DCS updater manually. So you have to go into the bin folder, which is this folder here, and you have to update either 1.5.8 has to be updated to the 1.5.8 open alpha, or DCS 2.2 needs to be updated also to the open alpha. You have to choose which install you want to update, and you have to run the updater manually. If you want to know what key code to enter, I'll just get that for you. Just typing here on my just get an external view for a second. So okay, so the updater instruction blah 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 blah. Okay, here we go. I found the thread. I'll get the code for you. Yeah, where is it? Okay, you need to use this code in the command prompt. So you need to go into your command prompt and enter that DCS underscore updated.exe update at open alpha. That will update whatever version you're changing to the open alpha, but you need to be in the bin folder in order to do it. So let's just have a look at the flashlight here. Flashlight's still very poor in DCS 2.5. It really doesn't work very well. You can see I've got a slither of sunlight just showing on this part of the cockpit here, which looks incredible. That's really great. And I'm just going to have to pause for a second here. Back in a moment. Right, so it seems I've been called away by real life. So we're going to bring the stream to a close. I don't have eyes on our little friend. Ah, there he is. Okay. Well, maybe we'll try one quick pass on this chap. And these conditions, he's showing up very dark. And because the background's quite pale, he's actually very visible indeed. So this is a better environment for fighting with a bit overcast. Certainly up against the clouds, he'll be visible. And there we go, we do have guns. And let's see if it goes as he goes up here. Still visible, still visible. Yeah, these are good conditions for fighting in. Certainly against AI. If you're practicing against AI, these are good conditions. Alright, there he is again. And we'll be making almost a head on. Can't quite get the nose over there. Oh, that cloud's dark. Okay, now he's invisible. Whoa. He's going to go up into the dark again. Just got to keep eyes on him. There, lost sight there. Only for a second though. I've reacquired him. And we'll just nose down. Nope, no shot. This does feel a little bit easier fighting him in this conditions. Gonna nose up, isn't he? Oh, that's hard to see. Okay, I think he's up there somewhere. Oh, yep. There we go. See him quite nicely at the moment. Traces look good. Much more visible. Yeah. Hit him pretty reasonable there. Okay, so now we'll be able to switch to air to air and hopefully that'll finish him off. Good. Okay, so we finally managed to get a MiG. Looking at some different lighting conditions and doing a bit of dogfighting. That's it for me. I've got to run. Thanks for watching all. I hope that was enjoyable. I'm impressed with DCS 2.5 so far. There are some ongoing things with difficult visibility, which I didn't notice in the last videos, but changing the conditions around helps you find the kind of best visual environment, and looking at different liveries and things is also quite interesting. But yep, that was quite entertaining. I hope others found it so. There's the beautiful Sabre. Basically the only aircraft we got to look at this time. I'll try and look at the Spitfire and the Viggen a bit more in future. Thanks for watching, everyone, and yeah, good hunting. Hopefully we'll see you a bit more.